into a place to yap, where big feelings meet even bigger opinions. I'm your girl, Todd. This is your weekly permission slip to speak your truth, feel all the feels, and grow through what you go through. This episode is for my overthinkers, my dreamers who play it way too safe, and my people who want to, but keep doubting themselves. Our fear of failure is holding us back from the things we really want and the life we truly deserve to live. Let's get into this week's affirmation. Fear does not define me. Every attempt is evidence that I believed in myself enough to keep trying. Let me just tell y'all, I was terrified to start this podcast. It has literally been in my phone since 2022. And that's really crazy when I think about it, because some of these episodes have been recorded for years and it's still relevant, the topics that I was talking about, because I was passionate about it at that time and now. I was having conversations with myself like, dang, what if nobody likes it? What if nobody cares? What if nobody's listening? What if I embarrass myself? What if people make fun of me? What if people just think it's whack or corny? I sat on it for a while and I had conversations with my loved ones about it. And then I had come to a realization it's really all in my head. We truly talk ourselves out of stuff all the time. It's not even because we can't do it. It's because we compare ourselves to other people's highlight reels on social media all the time. And we think that we have to do everything perfectly before we launch. And in reality, that's just our fear holding us back. Your fear of being judged or criticized by others should not be your compass on the decision that you make for yourself. If you personally, in your heart of hearts, feel like that is the best decision for your situation, that has to be your compass. Not failing, not people judging, not people's opinions, because no matter what you do in life, people are going to have an opinion. They're going to have something to say about it, because that's just the way the world works. It's easy for somebody to tell you about yourself than it is for them to look at themselves in the mirror, tell themselves, and judge themselves. It's easy to point the finger at someone else. So your fear of failing can hold you back. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Things that I was scared to try, that when I finally tried, I was like, wow, it was all in my head. It was literally yeah, I may have looked awkward doing it. Yeah, I may have fumbled a little bit, but I learned. And that's the only way that you can learn, because there's a quote that says, when you fail and you try again, you're going to be coming from experience. Because you failed before, you can see the error of your ways. You can see where you went wrong, and you can move forward and be like, okay, when I went this way, this wasn't the correct way, but maybe if I would have did this way, maybe if I would have did that way. And you keep trying and keep showing up until you get it correct. That's the one thing that is for certain, is you got to learn by failing, growing, and gaining the experience and the wisdom by doing it. You're not going to always get it right the first time. You're not going to always do it perfect the first time, or perfection isn't really realistic. What the end goal to you is going to be different to someone else. And then someone else's perception of you doing it is also going to be different than how you feel like you're doing it yourself. You could feel like you're not doing it anything justice, and then someone else can be viewing it on the outside and be jealous, envious, thinking oh, they don't know how good they got it. I don't understand why this person can do this and why this person, it just looks so easy and makes it look so effortless. In your mind, you're like, man, I am going through it. This is hard. I done literally fell 87,000 times, and now this time was okay, but I could have did better. There's so many layers to failure and situation, and it's so complex because there's so many people opinions that are put on you, and then you end up internalizing those opinions and putting them on yourself, and now you have this added pressure of an unrealistic expectation of perfection, or just not wanting to fail because your fear of being judged by others. Not everybody's going to see the vision. Not everyone's going to see the finish line. They're just going to tell you what they feel like is best, and sometimes it's coming out of love, and sometimes it's coming out of their own fear, because they didn't want to make that decision, or they were too scared to make that choice. And now it's they're projecting that fear onto you instead of the support. You just have to step out on your own and figure it out. And if the worst happens is that you fail, then you can just pick yourself back up and figure out what you can do to put yourself in a better situation, no matter the situation. Or you fail and it works out. You fail and you're like, oh, okay, well, this didn't work, but this actually was a blessing in disguise because I was able to maneuver this. I was able to do this. I was able to do that. I have had so many setbacks in life where I seen my life going one way and it just completely is going like a total different direction. And every day I wake up, I don't really know what direction it's going. I just get up and I figure it out every single day, no matter how tired I am or emotional or annoyed or mad or frustrated I am. There's always things throughout the day that I'm reminded that I'm blessed, that I'm reminded that, life is going to continue. There's people that cross my path that give me clarity, inspiration, a perspective. And I'm grateful for those things. Failure is just based off of the lens that you see life through. What may look like a failure to others is not a failure to you. It's just a part of your lesson. It's a part of your growth. It's a part of your success. One of the steps that you take to get to the next step. You just have to learn, you have to grow, and you have to work hard. And sometimes the lesson and the test has to be repeated until you finally learn the lesson, till you finally get the wisdom and gain the insight. Maybe the first time you make excuses and you say, well, no, it probably was this, and maybe it wasn't necessarily this. That cycle repeats until you finally learn this is not for me, or maybe this specific thing wasn't for me, but if I didn't fail these times, I would have never came across this situation, and this situation put me into a better scenario. Not always failure, but that fear is what's holding you back because you're so scared what other people are going to say, and then they just don't want to be looked at as a letdown. They don't want to be looked at as damaged goods. They don't want to be looked at as less than. Those same people, if you were to peel back the mask that they're wearing, it's not all that it seems. It's never really all that it seems. You're just looking on the outside. You're seeing what you want to see. And you're only seeing what you're allowed to see because you can't see everything that everybody's going through in every single moment of every second of every day because you're not with people that much. Hey y'all, we gon' yap back. We gon' yap back. All right, let me stop playing. This week's yap back prompt is: what's something you haven't done yet because you're scared to fail? Send me a DM, voice note, email, comment at a place to yap, and let's hold each other accountable. You have to be realistic about the expectations that you place on yourself and the expectations that you place on others. You also have to be realistic with the fact that you can't compare your life to someone else's. Your path is your path. Their path is their path. It doesn't mean that they're better than you or you're better than them. Everybody's path is different. They may cross, they may align, they may go in two different directions. That doesn't make anybody better than the next person. Everybody has a different path or a different journey. Everybody's failures are different. The reaction to a failure is different. The bounce back from a failure is different. It may not even look like how you vision it in your mind's eye. Like you could feel like, when I bounce back, I'm going to be like this. And it could be a whole 180 from what you thought it was going to be. But that's just how life is. That's just how the journey is. It's a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Every single day, you are getting up, figuring it out. And we don't have a rule book that's going to tell us this and that. Now, if you are a spiritual person, there's guidances for sure. But at the end of the day, it's still on a case-by-case basis. It's still on a day-by-day, minute-by-minute, hour-by-hour, second-by-second basis. Because you just never know what curveball is going to throw at you, what life is going to throw at you. The only thing you can do is just keep moving forward. If you fail, you dust yourself off and you try again every single time. That is the only way you're going to get better. That is the only way you can. It just depends on your perspective. I used to be so negative, and sometimes I still catch myself being in that. I used to feel like life was happening to me. Not for me, but to me. Oh, why do I have to go through this? Well, why did I go through this growing up? Was I able to not have domestic violence and trauma? That's just the cards that I was dealt. There's people that have been in worse situations than me. There's people that have been in better situations than me. I can't be stuck in that victim mentality and just sit there and say, oh, woe was me and life sucks and I'm never going to be X, Y, and Z. No. If I listened to people who told me that I was never going to be anything in life, I wouldn't have took the leap of faith to move to Georgia. It's never ending. Just like when you work on yourself and you work on your trauma, it's literally never ending. It's constant because there's something that you learn every single day, multiple times a day sometimes, especially if you're out in the world, if you're working in customer service, if you're talking to people in different professions, everybody knows something you don't know. So there's an opportunity to learn and grow and be a student of life every opportunity of the day. Even when I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't even go outside like that, as far as like having communication with like adults and different things and all that stuff, there was things I was learning from my kids. There was things I was learning from social media, from YouTube, from books. Like there's just so much opportunity for learning and growing. Even just failing, there is so much opportunity from that. There's power in failure because you're gaining the experience when you fail. You're gaining the opportunity to do it again and do it from experience and do it better and better until you succeed. With every test, there's a tester. There's someone who has to take the test. There has to be somebody that has the high scores that you are trying to attain. And there's going to be people that are going to hit the middle. And there's going to be people that are going to hit the bottom. When you take the test, don't do so well the first time, you can take it again. You're going based off the knowledge that you took the first. Even if the questions change, you're still going to remember some of the stuff and be like, okay, yep, I remember this. This one was this. Even if they word it differently and it is the same question, but you still have the insight from the first time. When I'm line dancing and I'm learning on Mondays the steps, by Fridays, I forget. But then once I get back in there and I hear the music and I'm picking up the steps, I'm like, okay, I remember a little bit. Okay, then it just comes back to you. That muscle memory comes back to you. And the older you get, the harder sometimes it gets. You keep showing up, not for everybody else, but show up for you. Show out for you. Don't allow the fear of other people's opinions to hold you back from just taking a leap of faith and understanding that it's okay to take that leap even if you fall. Because either you're going to fall or you're going to fly. And it's okay if you do either one. Give yourself the opportunity to do so. I know this episode was super short, but sometimes fear doesn't need a full hour to remind us how loud it is. It creeps in quietly and tries to control everything if we let it. So here's your reminder. Trying and failing is still moving. Not trying at all, that's the real loss. If this episode hit home, share it with someone who needs the nudge. And don't forget, every time I face fear, I learn something more about myself. I'm not failing, I'm unfolding. Until next time, keep yapping, keep showing up, and remember, this is your safe space, a place to yap.